How many did you notice? And that's something that sometimes can anchor and help for the kids that are kind of wigglers. Some other ones, we think about these as kind of exercise. Yoga is, I think, a form of really great mindfulness, as well as I think running can be. For me, weight training is very mindful, being aware of your muscles, how they connect, those kind of experiences. But I think there are ways of like kind of engaging work mindfully. So it doesn't necessarily have to be very rigorous exercise, but more how you're engaging the work. The routine, things that you do on a regular basis. So like mindfully, you need some, no?
Green light on?
No, Miss Red, it's always been red, okay. Routine things for like mindfully washing the dishes, mindfully cleaning the yard. This is something that I definitely do a lot with my toddler, just trying to be in the moment, being very focused on what it is that we're doing completely in that moment. And I think about one of my favorite things in the Buddhist practice is some students asked the master, how can you be drinking coffee and reading your paper at the same time? Aren't you supposed to just do one thing at one time? And the master says, I am doing one thing. I'm drinking my coffee and reading the paper. I'm doing that one thing at one time. And so I think that sometimes when we think about mindfulness, it's sitting in a certain position on the lotus flower or those kind of ideas, but really anything can be mindful. I had a patient in private practice who was really into whiskey tasting. And so one of the things that we talked about was how can you mindfully engage in that process? And I think the same might be true for wine or scotch or some of those beverages, or even water, if that's your preference. But just the very notion of how you're taking things into your body, being aware of that experience. And then finally, guided meditation. And I think that starts to take us more to the spectrum of hypnosis, and it's more engaged with an outside source. Some of the healing ideas of mindfulness really talk about the idea of gratitude. So having the attitude of gratitude each day, thinking of something that you're really thankful for. One of the things that I've really started introducing more, how many of you have heard of the complaint-free world or the complaint-free challenge? So I think it's a really cool challenge, but the idea is that you go 21 consecutive days without complaining. And you wear a rubber band, or you can buy one of the purple bracelets that the proceeds go to charity. You wear a rubber band or this bracelet, and every time you complain, you have to put it to the other arm. And the goal is to not have to change the rubber band for 21 days straight, consecutive. And if you say you get to 20 days and you complain, the 21 days, that process starts over again. And it's really nice because it talks specifically about like what is the definition of complaining. So it's noticing or having a criticism without an attempt to change it or improve the situation. So it may be something like you go out to dinner and the soup is cold. So a complaint would be like, oh, this soup is so cold, this place sucks. Noticing and trying to change it might be, excuse me, waiter, my soup is cold. Can you heat it up? Can I get another bowl of soup? Can I get this for free? So it's an attempt to correct the situation. It's an attempt to correct the situation, but not necessarily the complaint. And then when they walk away, like, they better have given me that for free because this is ridiculous. Like, then that would be a complaint. And so I've introduced this to families, and they really love the concept as we start talking about relapse and like relapse prevention, kind of termination conversation. When they've really been able to master some of the ADHD kind of stuff and behavior charts, then we can go into like, what does it mean to do a lot of the things we talked about earlier this morning, and to praise and reinforce and like get out of the habit of noticing negative things. Reflection and prayer. Depending on your religion, this can be really powerful, reflecting on what you want for life, how to achieve it. And then finally, emotional clearing, and that's a lot of the work that we do. So the most common benefits of mindfulness: obviously decrease your stress, enhance your ability to deal with illness, facilitate recovery, decrease our depressive symptoms, and improve our general health. Now, some of my handouts are my slides are very general. The reason I printed them this way, or I wrote them this way, is because if you do them as a full slide, you can just give it as a handout to patients. So that specifically for this slide deck was what I had in mind. So some of the information may seem really basic, but it's also a way to like educate our parents without needing to create a new handout. handout. This is some mindfulness specifically for students and kids, and then talking a bit about the importance of consistency. So every morning we are born again. What we do today is what matters most. Allocating a regular time each day to be still. If you wait until you get around to it, you never do it. So this is just key points of ways to have more consistency in mindfulness. So I really like to anchor mindfulness in a routine. So like maybe, can you brush your teeth mindfully? Or some kids will say, well, I don't brush my teeth every day. That's another conversation. You'd be surprised how many kids, when you say that, I'm like, really? People, okay, that's new. But talking about something that they do every day might be a good way to anchor it. Following really finding their right motivation and intention, the timing, the right spot, the posture, and then really once they get into that routine, reinforcing it. So use of apps. So Siri is a really great MI tool. So Siri, remind me to be mindful. And so teaching kids to use their technology in ways that can be helpful. This is from the Mayo Mind Body Initiative. I really like their mindfulness model. They have a 7-day model. So Monday is about gratitude, Tuesday is compassion, Wednesday is acceptance, Thursday is meaning and purpose, Friday is forgiveness, Saturday is celebration, whoop whoop, and then Sunday you reflect on that week, that year, your goals. And so I really like this because it's just a simple, like they can do this for 1 minute or they can do it for 20 minutes or longer, whichever feels most congruent with their values. And so I want to do a little bit of mindfulness in the room. If you look at your handouts, I have quite a few different mindfulness exercises. But in the spirit of us all showing up today and doing a lot of work, I would like us to do the exercise that is the first one after the PowerPoint slides. It's called Appreciating Yourself. So you all are pretty awesome. I think everybody knows Be Hip is like the best team in the world. Gabby's pretty, is Janelle here? Gabby's pretty great. But Be Hip rocks. And so I just wanted us to take a few moments to just like appreciate ourselves. We talk so much today about ways that we can support our parents, ways that we can motivate our teens, ways we can work with our colleagues, but we didn't actually talk about us. And so I wanted us to have a moment to reflect on things we appreciate about ourselves. So the exercise is to list 10 things about yourself that you really like or appreciate. The qualities you list don't have to be the ones you display all the time. Maybe sometimes you're this thing. As you write down each quality, see if you can notice any uncomfortable feelings. Embarrassment, fear of vanity, unfamiliarity. If discomfort comes up, remind yourself that you are not claiming you're better than anyone else. Not that you're perfect. You're simply noting the good qualities that you sometimes display. See if you can acknowledge and enjoy the positive qualities you have, lingering over them and really taking them in. So I would like us to take 5 to 10 minutes to just write yourself 10 really nice things. 1, you're great listeners. I'm going to email the whole packet or put it on the iDrive. They're going to all be in a packet called Be Hip Tune-Up on the iDrive, a whole envelope once everybody submits their materials.
Perfect. I don't want to write on it.
Yeah, you can write on it. About 1 more minute. Okay, we'll reflect in a moment. Right now, I would like you to imagine that we're outside and there is a sky ahead of us, above us. And I want us to just breathe following this infographic. So 1, look up at the ceiling or sky and take a deep breath. 2, breathe all the way down to your foot in your shoe. 3, breathe up from your shoes and all the way to your head. 4, 1 more. And the first 3 felt good. Try 1 more. Now with those breaths, you are feeling more relaxed, more connected. A few moments ago, you wrote some beautiful things, I hope, about yourself. Now I would like you to just take a moment and listen to these words. This is an invitation, or for your mind to go wherever it needs to go. You can close your eyes if you're comfortable, or keep them open if that feels most relevant and appropriate for you. Thinking about the words that you wrote, I want you to just listen. I imagine and believe all of the affirmations I wrote about me are true. Right now, in this moment, and I enjoy the self-esteem and relaxation I am experiencing. I feel good about who I am today. I accept the person that I am. I accept my flaws, and I accept my strengths. I view my shortcomings as strengths not yet developed rather than weaknesses. I eagerly develop new strengths. I imagine and believe that all of these affirmations are true for me right now in this moment, and I enjoy the self-esteem relaxation I am experiencing. I approach challenges with strength. I do the best that I can at the time that I can do it. I give 100% of the effort I have when I am able, and I choose to put forth full effort towards the things that are important to me. I accept my imperfections and the imperfections in what I do. My efforts are good enough, and they're okay. I do not have to be perfect to be okay as a person. I am a human being with flaws, and I enjoy being who I am, and I love myself as I am. I nurture the child within me. I feel secure in who I am, and I do not need to compare myself to others. All of the strengths I have ever had are present in me today. I still have the same positive character, even if not all of my strengths are showing right now. I have all of these strengths of character and will use those strengths again. I accept myself. I care for myself. I take time for myself and enjoy it. I deserve time for myself, and I feel good about taking this time regularly. When you're ready, gently and kindly open your eyes. What was this process like? To write nice things about yourself, be with yourself, hear nice things in your head about yourself? Is anyone willing and able to share this process? Yes.
It kind of feels like it's unusual, like it's not something that, I mean, at least for me, that I go around all day thinking things about myself, and it's something that I might do for others, and I might encourage the parents that I see to do for their kids. And I think that doing it for ourselves is both like affirming ourselves, but also it's a good practice, becomes like sort of like practicing what we preach.
Yeah. It's such an interesting thing. We can often give so much, but not give so much to us. Thank you for sharing. Other thoughts?
I definitely would have moments like, I think it's interesting with the 10 options, like there were certain things where I would have more feelings of discomfort, maybe putting them down when something came to my mind, where I'd feel a little bit uncomfortable or embarrassed. And then certain things that would come to my mind I put down, I'd notice pride, maybe one that I was more used to maybe expressing before or something like that. So it's kind of nice to have more than one option, because I feel like maybe I have like a few, like 2 qualities or something that I'm used to kind of valuing myself, but then when there was more, it allowed me to kind of explore a little bit more what else came up and how I felt about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know when I got to those last numbers, I was like, 10? Why didn't I make this 5? This is way too long. So thank you for sharing. Yes, Raquel.
I really liked in the prompt that it said, like, even if it's something that you don't do frequently, I think it gave permission for exploring more of those options and embracing things that maybe otherwise I wouldn't have.
Yeah, and I feel like the idea that I might not do it today sometimes implies that I have to be that thing today, rather than that thing is inside of me and it may not manifest today, but it's there, and so maybe next week. Maybe patience might show up, I don't know, It's in me somewhere, I gotta dig through the crates. But I think it gives permission to really see how complex we are and like accept who we are in this moment. Yeah, any other thoughts on this? Okay, so this is 5 kindness and generosity ways. 1, pause at a stop sign, and you can say to yourself, may I be happy and safe, may I live with ease. 2, engage the grocery clerk. Just standing in line, strike up a conversation. 3, connect with someone in need. I think we all do that in our role. Ask them how they're doing. It says give some money if you like, I don't know, but kind of what's in line with your values. 4, extend to your fellow commuters. May you be happy, may you be safe, may you be free from harm, may you live with ease. I think these are just kind words. I would not mind if I was on the train and someone said, hey, may you be happy today. That would be like really nice. And then listen for the ping. So like when your phone is on or something like that, side eye, Erica. When your phone is on, like the little things that come up in your natural life are opportunities for mindfulness. So maybe your phone ringing, or every time you get a text message, you might have an affirmation statement that you make to yourself. This is snack, I like this. These are all things you can give to patients, is why I wrote them this way. Stop, notice, accept, curious, kindness. And so this is just a mindful snack. I like that idea. And so what I would like us to do, I had here that in groups of 4 we would discuss our mindfulness tools and our experiences and our patients' responses. However, being mindful of time and in the spirit of what we often don't do for each other, what I would like us to do is just turn So you, Raquel and Yoni, Nirali, Martha, just twos, me and you, Paul, and twos. What I would like you to do is just take about 5 seconds to just breathe, look at the person, and just say something that you really appreciated about them being in this room and in this space today. And then take another few seconds and say that same, have them say the same, whatever the thing is for them. Reverse. Okay, you get what I mean. Say something nice, okay? But not like a whole paragraph, just a real simple, something that they can take with them, put in their pocket, and keep with them in their day.
You are a very creative and dynamic person, speaker, and I love the way that you word things. I feel like the way that you present things and word things sometimes really gets to the heart of what they are in a way that I really appreciate.
Thank you. That means a lot to hear. It doesn't always feel that way up there. Martha and I, when we were watching you present, we're just really kind of giggling and appreciating your balance of humor and competency. For you to be so competent as a clinician, but then to just like still be like silly and playful, and I just really appreciate that energy that you bring into this space, especially when I feel like sometimes competence equals a level of seriousness that doesn't always feel good. So it's just a really refreshing and enjoyable experience.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we were kind of like, Paul. Like, so great. So thank you. All right. So, how was that? To hear something nice from one of your BHIP colleagues about you? That was nice, yeah. It's nice to say nice stuff and to hear nice stuff, right? I think it's something that we need to do better as a team. It's like just be nicer to ourselves and to each other. I hope this tune-up is not just about tuning up the content, but also like tune-up of morale. It's been a lot of transition in the last few months. And our clinics are intense and the world is intense. And so I think taking these kind of opportunities are just ways that we can continue to be a light, but also light our own fire. And so in the last part of the day, we're gonna break into our clusters. There is a handout that gives you some prompt questions. That says cluster goal setting and planning future trainings. And so I'm gonna ask for you all to do one of these per cluster and then return that. Also, we have our evaluations, if you can wrap those up, and then also return those to me as well. After you do those components, you are free to go. If you want to keep your one sheet for your cluster, I invite you to take a picture and then email it to yourself. But you can, if you can give me the original, that would be really helpful. So, does everybody know their cluster?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.